In this video, you'll learn how to create and customize columns and shear walls in ideCAD Architectural for accurate structural modeling. We'll show you how to place rectangular and circular columns in both architectural and structural design modes, adjust size, elevation, alignment, and material properties, and use symmetry tools for precise positioning. You'll also learn how to trim columns to fit slanted walls and create polygon columns for irregular shapes. Then, we'll move on to shear walls, covering how to place them, set dimensions, control elevation, and apply 3D materials and hatches. By the end of this video, you'll be able to model vertical structural elements with flexibility, accuracy, and clarity. Now, let's move on to the column creation process. Since these elements can be used in both architectural plan and structural design mode, clicking their commands does not automatically switch the program to structural design mode. You can freely use them in either mode, depending on your workflow. When you click the column command, a toolbar opens that includes different column types and aligned icons. There are multiple aligned options to define the insertion point of the column, such as corner aligned, left middle aligned, centered, or default aligned. If you change the placement reference to symmetrical, the same column can be positioned differently using a mirrored reference point, offering greater control over precise placement. You can use the symmetry command on the toolbar or simply press the spacebar on your keyboard. For example, when you change the insertion point of a column, using symmetrical placement allows the same column to be positioned differently based on a mirrored reference. You can access the column settings by clicking the settings icon on the toolbar. From this dialog, you can define properties such as hatch type, color, width, and height, delta. Additionally, you can adjust parameters like the upper elevation, and shear if applicable. Column dimensions can be modified either from the settings window or directly through the value boxes on the toolbar. To place a column parallel to a specific wall, you can rotate it accordingly. To rotate the column, you can use the symmetry command on the toolbar or simply press the spacebar on your keyboard. As an example, you can define a column with dimensions 40 by 70, set the alignment point to the corner aligned, and place it on a specific snap node. Column placements can be easily adjusted later. You can reposition them or modify their dimensions as needed. For circular columns, you follow a similar process by specifying the diameter before placement. In your project, you may often need to place columns in areas that don't align perfectly with corners, especially where slanted walls are present. In such cases, there are two methods you can use: trimming the column to reshape it based on surrounding elements, defining it as a polygon column, allowing for custom geometry that fits irregular spaces. With the trimming method, select the Trim Column command from the vertical toolbar. Then follow these steps. Select the column you want to trim. Click on the edge of the column to be trimmed. Finally, select the wall that will serve as the reference. The system will automatically trim the column to match the angle of the slanted wall, ensuring a precise fit. In the second method, you can manually draw the outer boundaries and transform the shape into a polygon column. Draw the outer boundaries with multiple line command. Then, by selecting the shape, right-clicking, and choosing Transform to Polygon Column, the drawn shape will be transformed into a column object. You can also observe this transformation in the perspective view, seeing the column take its 3D form in real time. Both methods offer practical solutions for different situations. Which one you use will depend on the specific design conditions and requirements of your project. Now we can move on to Shearwall drawing. When you click the Shearwall command, the toolbar appears on the screen. From this toolbar, you can change delta point of the shearwall. Clicking the settings icon on the toolbar opens the Shearwall settings dialog. Here, you can configure all properties, including ID, width, upper elevation and elevation, hatch type, color, and material in the 3D model. Shearwall drawing is quite similar to wall drawing. You start by clicking a point, then define the direction in which the shear wall will extend, and complete the drawing. You can use the Delta command on the toolbar or simply press the spacebar on your keyboard. If needed, you can later reopen the settings dialog to adjust parameters like elevation levels or other properties. In column and shear wall elements, a direct height value is not entered. The system calculates it automatically based on the defined story height. However, if needed, you can manually adjust the element's height by modifying the upper elevation value. This allows for custom height control while maintaining alignment with story levels. With columns and shear walls completed, we can now move on to placing doors and windows in the project. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore the knowledge base for more tips. See you in the following video.